How's she going right there, eh? It's Denis here from Denis Logie Outdoors. Back up at the woodlot. The wife and I are up here for a couple of days. Um, got here last night, or I guess late yesterday. Right now we're just heating up some chicken wings, and I'm going to give a little bit of a update on the fireplace, I guess, for the cabin. So we have some salads made up. So the wife made this up. So this is called a Kona Cafe salad. So Kona Cafe's in Disney World. So what's in this is lettuce, obviously lettuce. I'm trying to remember all this. Red onion, smoked crushed almonds, blue cheese, apple, and then the sauce that she makes is rice wine vinaigrette with some orange juice and a couple other things in there. I don't know what else she's got in there. And then for the chicken wings, we've been using this wing sauce, buffalo wing sauce from Costco. It's actually pretty good. I like it. Okay, so this is what's going on here with this fireplace cube, I guess that's what I've been calling it. So like I mentioned in the past, so now we have, I think it's like 4 foot by 5 foot. Now I'm going to fill this with dirt or gravel, or clear stone, I mean, and compact it. And then I have to pour a 3 to 4 inch concrete pad on the top of this after I bend all the rebar. And that's what this pipe's right here. I got a 1 inch pipe, 3/4 inch pipe right here sitting on top of this rebar. So what I'll do is I'll set that on these, bend them down. I think I'll bend these ones on an angle, and then wire them together. And then if I have to, I'll cut some more pieces of rebar to strengthen that a lot better. And then I'm going to form a box all the way around and then pour concrete. That's why I left the concrete mixer here. So then I want to try to do this obviously when it's not raining, because I don't want this to fill up with water. Obviously there was some water in it the other day, so it dried up. So this was getting kind of messy, this whole spot, obviously, because it's been basically a construction site and it's been just sitting here since last year. So kind of went and cleaned up a little bit. I just thrown some stuff that I may want to use. Obviously when I frame this up, I'm going to need to strengthen it and screw a few little pieces of wood. All the other pieces of form work, actually I set a bunch of the forms over there. They got a bunch of concrete on them. I don't know if I'm going to reuse some of those or not. I may. But the rest of the stuff, my wife and I, wife's up here, the two of us cleaned this up a little bit, swept up, and it's all over there by the fire pit, and we're going to burn that this evening. A bunch of old concrete bags and just a bunch of old broken forms and scraps that I had screwed on there to hold this. So that should work out all right. And like I described in the past, right here at this joint, once this sill log is in place in the right spot, same thing with the other one, squared up, I have to drill a hole all the way through here with a drill, and then on all 4 corners, once everything's squared up, and then mark the concrete spot pad, move this, drill into the concrete, and then I have a special anchor that sets in there. So when you hammer it in, it mushrooms and kind of anchors in. And then I'm going to put a thread rod all the way through. I'll put a big washer nut on the top once these are all level, and I have to level them from the center line of both of these sill logs. Once they're all lined up, then I'll start cutting these other logs for the other 2 sides. And like I mentioned before, hopefully you can kind of understand it a little bit better. This pad is going to be on the outside of the log cabin, and the plan is that these will all be cut down. There's going to be like a pressure treated 2x4 wall at the bottom, or sill plates, and then I'm going to frame up a wall. Eventually, once the log cabin is all built, the wall will be here. There'll be a box built all the way up around the Selkirk chimney, and that will be all sheathed with concrete board and wire mesh, and then troweled with stone, and I'll have rock all on the outside of that all the way up to the top. Then this 4-inch concrete, or 4 to 3 inch concrete pad, is going to be an inch lower than the finished floor inside the cabin. Then that'll be all poured with grout and a cobblestone hearth, and then there's going to be a wood stove sitting on top of this with a pipe going out into the Selkirk chimney and up. And then I may look at trying to make this look like a false fireplace inside. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not, but I'm going to have the option to do that if I want. Then right in here where these threaded rods are, there's going to be a beam all the way across. That's what this beam sitting right here, and that beam sitting over there. That beam's going to come across all the way that way, and then there's going to be another beam threaded in, lap joint. Then these floor joists will be sitting on that all the way across. And then once I get past the fireplace, then these floor joists will be going all the way across, and pockets cut on that sill log and this sill log. And that's kind of like what it's going to look like. That's just sitting there, that floor joist. So in here there'll be pockets cut with a chainsaw all the way 16 inches on center on both of these sill logs, once everything's all squared up. And then I'll put the subfloor on, which would be rough boards, and then the wife and I, like we said, we're going to stand on here and then decide the size of the windows. We have a bunch of windows we already purchased, but they're a lot smaller than what we think we should have had, because we want to make sure we're sitting in here and we have a good view of the lake and the shoreline. So we're going to make that decision on the size, especially these windows here in the front. Yeah, so we were out on the boat earlier today, most of the day actually. We got quite a bit of sun. Once the sun broke out, it was real nice and warm. Had a little breeze, worked out nice. There was no bugs. We've been really lucky here in this area. There's not that many bugs, because I believe it's because of the breeze right here on the water. And like I just got an old 12-foot aluminum. We're half thinking tomorrow we may put the raft in the water. We're going to try that. Hopefully that'll work out all right. Today, while we were out there, we have a family of loons. So we have a male and female with 2 little ones, and they're constantly traveling back and forth. I should try to get some footage of that, because we've had some some bald eagles flying around. Every time a bald eagle flies overhead, they start calling, and as soon as they call, the little ones dive underwater. It's kind of cute. It's kind of neat how they do that. And then way over on that end, there's a big pine tree, and the eagle, bald eagle, was sitting on the branch for hours and just sitting and watching these two, this family. And in the past, I've seen the eagles come down and grab little baby geese or goslings from the nesting geese, and so they're just kind of sitting around waiting. But it's kind of cool. Even there was an osprey that flew by, and as soon as they're up in the air anywhere near, you start hearing the loons calling, and the babies just jump right in, dive down and disappear. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so it's starting to get nice now. The sun is just starting to go down over the mountain. And I was saying to the wife when we were trolling around on the lake, you can't even really see the rock wall that I spent all this time to build. So I got to go through there and trim a bunch of the maple shrubs and all the branches and little trees and stuff that are kind of poking up there. And I'll do that there sometime. Anyhow, that's it for now. So if you could like, share, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. That's the end there, eh?